So, what are we going to talk about?
So, I mean, I did message about talking about how we've changed, how following this path changes us, or how we, you can sort of say where it's helped you or the effect it's had on you. So I was thinking, like, for me, the realization of thinking I'm laid back, but in actual fact, I suppose I am laid back to a degree, but some of that is also wounding where I don't push myself to step up.
Mm,
So it's like keeping ourselves small. So
yes,
when I've worked on myself,
yes,
I'm starting to sort of step up and express my own needs,
yes,
all
yes,
stuff like that. So
yeah,
the other thing about knowing our own truth so that we're more
mm,
confident, because obviously if we follow someone else and their beliefs don't align with us, and we're
yes,
talking about that, or it's almost like you trip yourself up. I have to be
hmm,
fully 100% in my own truth so I can speak the
exactly.
truth, because
Yeah,
otherwise
yes,
it's like waffling about something I'm not sure of, in a way.
exactly.
The other thing was about me, learning to push my own boundaries, to step out of,
Yes,
out of the fears,
mm,
which has led to this, which has also led to me and you coming together.
yeah, exactly.
I'd have never seen myself working with people before. What was the
Yeah.
other thing I got? Being in the peace. And I suppose, like we just said, the more we're in the peace, the body's healing. So lots of benefits from
Yes,
where we've got to, but also lots of benefits, but also lots of things that can be quite difficult for us to. And what I'm getting as I'm saying that, so lots of things that can be quite difficult that we've had to work through. It's almost like anybody listening to this, it's not all rosy.
yes,
It's pushing us, and we've got to a point where we know we have to move over the what you call it, through the blocks.
exactly. Or
you
being
know
shy.
yeah, and anybody listening, might look at us and then go, yeah, it's worth, I'm struggling at the moment, but it might be worth. But then again, maybe booking a session with us to help
Exactly.
them over.
I love this
Yeah.
because the first thing that came to mind is like obviously self-love, stepping up and boundaries,
Yeah.
and also being obviously in the peace, but knowing who you are.
It's funny because I'm thinking, I've wrote all these bits down, and then I'm thinking, like, so you can just look to the side. And I thought, no, I need to start writing. This is me. I need to make little notes so I know what I mean. Nothing comes little with me. It's big lists of reading, but you've just done exactly what I wanted to do, which is self-love, boundaries. You've got it all.
Yeah. Well, because I was thinking, oh, what can I talk about? And it's literally getting to know yourself.
Yes.
And I have the feeling that there's something else is coming through. Like, I can't grasp it. It will come to me.
It might come while we're actually talking.
Oh, I have the feeling of like that also, like you said, with the other side of the coin, that sitting with the pain,
The
sitting with
discomfort.
the
Yeah.
challenge and the discomfort. They haven't paid me yet, by the way. It's over a week. I know, and I'm like, I wrote them an email already, and I didn't receive anything back. And then I was okay, maybe it takes 2 to 3 days because it's in euros and then in Switzerland, so maybe it takes a while. But even if you do like online banking, it should be there like straight away,
It's
maybe a
not
day
that
or
if
two.
they've not even emailed you to say, oh, sorry, Tatiana.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand it. So I was like, okay, has this something to do with me
What the,
receiving money? I don't know.
let me just feel into that, see if we can pick something up. I feel there's like a confusion within the selves, within the business. Um, it's almost like a confusion of she should do it. Not you, this is like whoever sorts stuff out. It's like she should do it, and also are pushing things to the back of the queue,
I feel the same, Lisa.
which obviously if you've pushed the buttons, they're not going to be, you might even have someone, because you'd have, let me feel it before I start talking, because I don't want it to be that I'm talking it. I want to get the feel for it. It's control, isn't it? So somebody's got control now, and they like that control.
I feel the same.
That's what I'm picking up. So it's not you receiving, you're ready to receive, is what they're telling me.
Mhm.
Not just this, you're ready to receive more and more. It's an issue with somebody in the business and with somebody, and that's why that business will carry on having issues with people, because they're controlling, and the controlling side's the 3D world, and it's the shit my words at the moment. Fucking ego, the controlling. So that's why the old outdated business system's collapsing and it has to go, because it's the ego that kicks in. They used to say, didn't they? We used to say at work, or they think they're like little Hitlers. They give them a label and they're going around thinking they're controlling the whole world, and their job might be just to pack a shelf, but they'll do it in their own time and they'll help you when they want to, because they get this control. I've got control. You're not pushing me. And as I'm saying that, there's some sort of release happening as we're speaking this as well. So so that's the old system, the old outdated system, and all the systems or businesses that are working along those lines are going to start collapsing. They're going to start breaking down, and they're going to start having lots of issues until it's like us, isn't it? Like this that we're talking about, until we start facing up to what we need to change, things aren't going to change. The same old's going to come and slap us in the face until we actually go, oh, do you know what? I need to do something about this now.
Yes.
I feel that's releasing stuff. I feel it within me. It's releasing stuff within me, like old energy and collective energy with shifting. I can feel it coming from the sacral chakra as well.
So much.
We can no longer carry this outdated information or
Exactly.
way of being. So that's what you're breaking the boundaries. You're cutting the ties from that way of being. Your system no longer aligns with that way of being because you've healed so much within you. So that's why you can't brush alongside it. It's like, I'm getting this. You can't rub alongside. You know, sometimes we think, oh well, you're doing this working from home situation, so you're not really in the middle of it. But what they're saying is, but you're still brushing alongside it, so it's not for you. Your system can't tolerate it. It's almost like putting toxins into our system. So that's why that's happened. And again, it's a learning for you, and it's a learning and releasing of the old patterns.
I love that.
Sharanaya Iyara, O Sharanaya, 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 O Sharanaya. We've got Lord Vishnu with us. We've got the dragon energies. The Moksha dragons are in. Very ancient, very, very ancient beings. Almost bringing that ancientness from the beginning of time.
They look like stone. I see them in these brown colors.
I mean, it's funny because at some point, what was it? Was it yesterday or on one of the nights? It was like I felt like we were rocks, and we were like, was it me and you that came through for?
We had this before, yeah.
Yeah, and so we were. You know, when you see statues, as though we were the statues, but the ancient statues that have been in the earth, as though we were them statues. So yeah, that's coming back into it. It's all connected to the ancient ones, isn't it? And the ancient wisdom and the knowledge.
And I saw the stone, like I was like, oh, that's a huge stone. Oh, it's a dragon.
Wow. It's your dragon self, is what they're telling me. And you've got the colours on with that colour, the stone colour, the dragon self. I feel like your dragon self's kind of coming up, as though it's coming up out of the mud, out of the earth. it's as though it's coming up into form within you, as though you're not fully I'm saying the word enabling, but
Mm.
and I'm saying that, yeah, so you're not fully enabling it, but you're not fully not engulfing. I suppose it's
Owning it.
a line, yeah, yeah. So it's as though
Okay.
your system's adjusting to this next level of energy, which is this dragon energy. So sometimes we have a bit of resistance, don't we? But
Yeah.
and I feel like as that dragon energy is coming up from the earth, it's pushing all the crap out of you. All, you know, all the crap that doesn't belong anymore while you're making these
Yeah.
deeper connections. It's pushing it all out because there's no space for anything that's not aligned with us.
Yeah, I can see them get the mud like out of the way.
Yeah, it's like it's coming up out of the mud, which to me, the mud is like the 3D, the denseness. So you cut it that
We're
energy.
leaving you behind.
Yeah, yeah, you're not coming with us whatsoever. It's like becoming a new being of
Mm.
light because we're stepping into that new way of being
Yeah.
in this world, in this new world, because we're aligning with the golden era, aren't we now?
Mm.
It's
Yes.
the
It's time for that.
yeah. And as you did that with your hands like that, I just saw big wings, like angels' wings.
I can feel that as well.
Big angels' wings. It was like the tops of the feathers, but they're like white and golden tips on the
Mm.
feathers.
I love that.
But you've also got, I feel like the dragon energy coming in. I can see a dragon flying around us. That's
Mm.
bringing the dragon energy, and he's like circling to clear the space. And as he's clearing the space and being told he's opening up the channel to God, although we're connected to God, he's like making a clearer channel for this connection with God to become stronger. It's almost like we're becoming so much more expansive. We can download so much more light from God into our systems, into our columns.
Mm.
And we're becoming more expansive. So we're expanding now as we sit here, we're expanding more and more with the light that's flooding in.
And we don't have to do more work, more this, more that.
No, it's just flowing in. It's like from the back behind us, it's like just this big light expansion of light that we are. But as we're expanding with this light, we're connecting to other light beings, other light from other energies, all of like really high frequencies. It's almost like being a radio that we've been able to tune into 4 stations, but now you can tune into every single frequency.
We can push the buttons now, like
Yeah, yeah. And hold that all at the same time. And it's making space for the people, for us to hold the people that are coming.
Ooh, this is exciting.
And I'm getting a map.
You're getting a map?
I've got the word map.
Right.
And I've just got the map of England. Okay, what's going on with that? Map of England. I can see like a map, but it's like ancient on page, you know, like a socialist discovered this ancient map. So all the edges are browned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting it's like a map of England, but it doesn't exactly look like England in its shape.
Okay.
But it's still an island as I can see it.
Is there a red dot on it like they used to do old stamps with it? Like,
Oh, do you mean at the bottom of the map or on a particular place?
I see it on a particular place, but it's more down south than up north.
Right. I'm
Compared.
getting central, and I'm
Mhm.
getting that it's to do with druid energy.
Yes.
So I feel this is connecting to that place we said we would go.
Okay.
Because that's central, isn't it? It's Yorkshire, I think, where we said we were going to go to that, like a druid stone temple. Sure, it was Yorkshire.
Was that North Yorkshire?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. It is somewhere in my phone. But it's to do with the Druids. So I feel like we need, that's definitely something we need to set up, this, going to this Druid area on this map. And it's as though when we go, we will almost be entering that ancient time of this ancient map, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And something to do with cultures. As in, you know, cultural. So the kind of people that were there at the time, we're going to be connecting in with that energy. So it's like we will be connecting in with their energy, so their wisdom of how they connected to the earth, because obviously in that time they had a more natural connection with Gaia, didn't they? They actually connected with the energy Gaia, and not how they do in nowadays, thinking that Gaia's just stone and
exactly.
You know, they connected to the spiritual.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I had the dot where Avalon is. It's like Glastonbury now, and I
Avalon.
I literally got the card, and it says, "I love Avalon, healing, returning to wholeness and transformation."
Wow, that is amazing. Avalon comes up a lot for me in meditations and stuff.
So I think we have to go there as well. But
yes, no, I get you. That might even be because, funnily enough, last year I went to Avebury and with Colin, and it was like I was thinking, I felt drawn that I'm going to go to these different areas around the country. So I started with the A's. So Avebury obviously is this Avalon, but Avalon doesn't show up, does it, as an area if you Google it?
Yeah, because it was like old where Glastonbury is, I think.
Right. So we could look that up and we'll put that on the list. So we and I'm getting that it doesn't matter what order we do it in, but it's to do with these old sacred. These are like your old original sacred temples.
Yes.
So we're like reconnecting with them because they'd have been set out like sacred circles.
Yes, and obviously 3 witches.
Oh,
there were 3 witches in Yorkshire. I heard the story somehow, but I need to look that up.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. So if we do Avalon, and then we'll look at I'll look up the one because I've definitely got it in my phone.
The Yorkshire witches, Mary Bateman, Mary Pennell, and Mother Shipton. There are many stories which circulate the UK about historic witches who could perform magic, cast spells, and create potions. Yorkshire has a rich past of tales about a few certain witches who forever carved their names in the history books.
Wow.
Mary Bateman, Mary Pennell, Mother Shipton. Mother Shipton looks, oh my God, a bit weird. But I think they were just lovely old women who helped the community.
Yeah. There'd have been like herbalists and women that, because that's what we were. We were originally people that could work with the land through our intuition and know what plants, and everything was provided for that area, wasn't it? If you lived here in Manchester where it's damp and wet, there would be, you know, dandelions and rosehip and all this stuff that you wouldn't have had ailments as such because you would be eating the right food. But because I always say it's really weird who decided that a dandelion was a weed. It's a beautiful yellow flower, and then when it seeds, it goes into those little balls of little feathers that you blow. So who on earth said that is a weed? Probably the benefits of it. That's what they didn't want us having.
Yeah, and that's all the Manly systems, the very dense system, but that's over now. I'm so happy about it. I know that we're just in the beginning of letting this all go, but imagine like 100, 200 years later, like from now on, that they are like, oh, the poor women back then, how they got treated. Like now we are the queens on the planet and men respect us.
Actually, yeah, you forget about that, don't you?
I love this, Avalon.
Yeah.
But,
I feel like it's a bit like they want us on our travels.
yeah, I have the feeling as well because yeah, I know that I'm worried a bit about money, not because I need to be worried. I know the
And
universe is providing, but I'm like, oh my God, if we travel, I need money. So it's coming, it's coming.
it's
So
come, and again, that's you know, that comes up in me, that kind of thing. I mean, we've got money, but it's weird because this is the concept I have to change because Colin's worked. I've supported him in his work. Our
mhm.
money's like a joint thing,
Yeah, it's
and
a separate call, yeah.
because I see him as physically working and not always see the support I give him because I know that what I'm doing, like helping him with his work, he won't be able to continue at the moment. He'd have to employ somebody.
Yeah.
But this thing of growing, almost like I've found it difficult to step up and say, right, I'm just booking a holiday for myself, or I'm going to meet a friend. So, and it's really weird because if I say to him, so I wanted to do the Sendrine thing and it was 1,000 and something
Yeah.
New Zealand dollars. I think
Yes.
it turned out to be 900 English pounds.
Yeah, it's a bit less.
And
That's
when
good.
it came in, it was like, my first thought was like, oh, £900. And I'm thinking, oh, and like Colin said, the money's in the bank, and I know the money's in the bank. And I'm thinking, oh, I've got to ask him. And I
Mhm.
thought, this is ridiculous because this is how
Yeah,
I've been. Not
yeah,
because I'm frightened of him saying no, because I know even
exactly.
if he didn't have money and I said I need £900, he would get £900.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean, yeah. So it's not that he's controlling it as such. It's
Mm.
my something to do with me that blocks me and from going.
Yes.
Actually, I'm worthy of this. I've
I'll
put my
just sign
effort
it.
in.
Done.
Yeah. So anyway, I just said I want to book this, but it's this amount of money, so I'm going to take it out. You know, should I take it out the savings?
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm like, what in? But I can still feel the resistance as I'm talking, like you have.
Mm.
So that's a
Yeah.
resistance that needs to be broken. And the more we move forward, knowing it's coming,
Mm.
knowing as we say yes to all these things, it'll drop in, won't it? It'll drop into place. That's what we've
Yeah.
just got to break the pattern.
Yes.
It's loving ourselves enough.
Exactly, and that's it. So I always say, like, I went to the hairdresser, and so you need to love yourself before you go into another relationship, and that's why I attracted Paul, like because
You loved yourself enough.
yeah,
That's exactly it, Tatiana. Them patterns,
mm,
and like you say, we're so drawn because we're empaths and compassionate
yeah,
too. Fixing that we draw somebody to fix if we don't look to ourselves first, don't we?
exactly.
So